Lead boxing truth. So after the win, David Benavidez is now, in everybody's opinion, considered top 2 pound for pound. With that being said, he's already being asked who he's going to fight next. You know, is he going to fight Bivol? Is he going to fight Canelo? Or other opportunities for Zuffa? One thing we do know is that he said that he'll have a problem fighting anybody with from Zuffa right now because it seems like Dana White is not ready to mix the boxing Zuffa with PBC and the zone. And, unfortunately, Zuffa's there, but I don't really focus on Zuffa. I don't think people are really focused on Zuffa right now, because Dana White's just like somewhat getting into boxing. He's been a part of boxing, but his main thing is, we know, MMA, UFC. So with that being said, David Benavidez is going to make sure that whoever he fights is going to be, the right fight for him in his career. And we've always seen David Benavidez fight the best. That's one thing we can say about David Benavidez. Another thing is that he's always, fighting everybody. I can't recall him ducking anybody. And if anybody can recall a duck, put it in the comment section. Because I've not known David Benavidez to be a duck. One thing I can say, when you have the support of Mike Tyson, normally it's earned because Mike Tyson is just not going to support anybody and not going to stand behind anybody. Not even going to walk somebody out the way he did. That's very rare. To get that type of respect and the name given to you, Monster, and he's saying Monster, Monster. And I like that he's grasped into that name that Mike Tyson gave him. And I know that they're keeping David Benavidez active, and I feel like with this move, PBC could be even moving better. It's moving good, but hopefully any other fighters that they have that's hungry, they can either put it under David Benavidez' fight, and they can make these good fights. Hopefully we can see David Benavidez again in September, because in my opinion now, especially after we see these pay-per-view numbers, because I think the pay-per-view numbers will be pretty decent. I think we should be seeing David Benavidez at least 2 to 3 times a year. I think we'll see him in May and in September. I think those will be the days. He'll have the Mexican holidays, and so he gets the top dollar of the top dollar, and he's earned his right to be a superstar. I don't know what else is out there for him, but I know probably the lowest he'll go now is 175. So we can get that Bivol fight, and the zone is like, no, we're going to get that third match fight. So with Bivol and whoever else he's fighting, so he might have to wait a little bit. But in the case, if they can make other fights happen, then so be it. As long as he's fighting the best, the top contenders, because you got some other fighters, but if somebody's already been stripped for an IBF belt, then that's just what it is. And we gotta get Benavidez and with another fighter that has a name, and that is gonna pretty much elevate him. Because right now, after getting the cruiserweight belt, there's no other way he can go up to unless he's going up to a heavyweight. And we don't see that happening at all. But He can definitely go down to 175. And there is names, excuse me, and there is names at 175 that David Benavidez could fight. And now, to me, he's officially the A side or a 50-50 split, depending on who it is. I don't even know with Bivol, you'd have to look at the numbers and stuff like that and see how the numbers look to see if it could be a 50-50 split or David Benavidez would be the A side of the situation. But right now, I don't see David Benavidez no longer being the B side anymore. He's done what he has to do to get to that, and this should be pretty much the blueprint to this is what I need to do. Fight the best. If I know I'm that good, fight the best, be consistent, and I'll get rewarded. And then that's basically what is happening with David Benavidez. So these fighters need to go out there. If they can't get the best fighter, you go for the next one. Let it be known that, hey, I try to make this fight happen. I'm not waiting for this person all day. That's a lot. That's what a lot of boxers' problems are today. They're sitting up here waiting and waiting and waiting. You're going to wait your whole career away. You sit up here waiting for the Canelo, payday or whatever. David Benavidez is like, no, I'm not going to, if I can't get Canelo, give me the next best guy. Okay, I can't get Canelo again, give me the next best guy. And he kept doing that to the point where he was like, dang, he's fighting this guy too? He's a killer. He been hurting people and doing all this stuff. He had Yardy, he had Morale, he had Caleb Plant. He done fought all these fighters. I don't think he fought none of the Charlos, but at this weight and Jamal Charlo, I don't think Jamal Charlo's. I don't even know if he's going to be fighting again. But even then, that would be like a tune-up fight for him now because the dude is just, at one point it was rumored to be a fight, but that's long gone. That's long gone right now. So we definitely want to see another fight from David Benavidez in September. I think they're going to demand that. Until this time, I think you're going to see a Gervonta Davis going in there. So now you got David Benavidez, you got Gervonta Davis. You have other fighters on PBC that could be filling in and building up their names and stuff like that to get the big payday. So, with that being said, this weekend of boxing on Cinco de Mayo was great. You see, Oscar De La Hoya was so happy about the result, so excited. The card was amazing. And this is how boxing should be, especially on the May and September days. They should be like that. Even the June and July days. You got your Juneteenth. Maybe you have some boxers out there of African American descent that go out there and make that their day. Make a July event too. But congratulations to David Benavidez for being 3-division champion. And right now he holds belts in both 175 and 200 pounds. And so that's just a great look for him. It's a great look for him. It's a great look for boxing. And I like that he spoke up. He wasn't mean disrespectful to Dana White and his fighter, but he was letting it be known that if he doesn't want to do business with us, I don't see how that could happen. But maybe it can. He wasn't trying to be too disrespectful, but he said a couple other things saying that the fighter needs to have the power pretty much in their hands, and I agree with that. Promoters are promoters. I came in to watch a fighter fight. So if the majority of the money needs to go to those fighters, that's where it needs to go because they're the one that have to get doctored up and all that stuff. A promoter is just a promoter. I don't put them on a super high level to that extent Yeah, they can get paid, but I never would feel that a promoter should get paid more than your boxer or take a big chunk. The lion's share should always go to the fighter at all times. Should always go. Maybe when you're first developing or first getting in there, maybe your cut is not as good as you would like it to be, but you have a majority share. But people that are already established, like a David Benavidez and stuff, that's bringing in a whole country along with Americans too, because he's Mexican American descent, but on Cinco de Mayo and he being bilingual and being able to speak his native language is always a good thing, and he's bringing in a lot of people. And now you got casual people that are probably going to watch the highlight reels of David Benavidez and going to be like, man, this guy's hands are quick. Please, if you have any information on a cruiserweight that has hand speed like that, the only thing I can think of is like with Roy Jones, but I don't think he went to cruiserweight. I think he went to heavyweight, and his hands were, Roy Jones' hands are crazy too. But for David Benavidez and his whole how he came through, as far as being a real big chubby kid in the ring, watching his older brother and then getting into boxing himself, the story is just a good story to be told. And boxing wins this weekend because you had boxers out there willing to put on a good show. And we pray that all the boxers are safe and all the boxers, are good to return if they want to return back into the ring. With that being said, this is Little Boxer Truth. Like, comment, you know what to do. Subscribe.